Pretending to be asleep saved my life. I'm currently 19 years old, but this happened when I was 10, and it feels like it was just yesterday. It all started on a cold winter Saturday in the year 2013. In my family, we were always accustomed to going to bed early compared to other people. I felt embarrassed about it, so I lied to my friends about what time I went to sleep. For a few months, after my parents put me to bed, would stay awake for another hour or two, chatting with friends on WhatsApp or playing some popular games. Sometimes my parents would get up to use the bathroom or go to the kitchen for a glass of water, and I needed to quickly turn off my phone and pretend to be asleep. On that night, I was playing a mobile app that I had been addicted to for a while, called Kenneth. I don't know if you're familiar with it. I had been playing for several hours when I heard footsteps coming up the stairs. Strange, I thought. I don't remember hearing my parents going down to the kitchen. Since I was so engrossed in the game, I realized my father had gone downstairs to get some water. You know that feeling when you can recognize family members by their footsteps? Well, the steps were somewhat heavy, even though they were trying to be quiet, as my father often did. So, I quickly assumed it was my father, turned off the phone, and hid it under the blanket, pretending to be asleep. Just 1 or 2 seconds later, I saw the steps approach. Taking advantage of the darkness, I opened my eyes and saw the silhouette of my father approaching the room, as he usually did. After a few long seconds, he returned to his room. I thought, great, I can play a little more. I listened when he opened the door to his room and went back to sleep. I had the habit of counting to 5 to make sure he couldn't see the light from my phone in his room when I hadn't heard the door close. 1-2-3-4, as I was about to return to my gaming addiction, I heard loud, sharp knocks coming from my parents' room. This made me hesitate to turn my phone back on. They were loud and dry knocks. I didn't know what was going on, but I assumed it was something related to adult matters. My friends had mentioned such things, and I was curious to see what it was really like since they talked about it so much during recess. I decided to sneak a peek since the door wasn't closed. I got out of bed, moving as quietly as possible, and approached my parents' room, crouching and leaning against the door, hoping to catch a glimpse of something to report later. Please don't judge me. I vividly remember what I saw. I saw the shadow of a large man with what appeared to be a knife, striking what seemed to be 2 soft pillows. I was paralyzed, watching and hearing those dry blows. Instantly, I knew they weren't pillows. They were my parents. I didn't cry or scream, I just took a deep breath. Nothing. I didn't even have the courage to let the air out of my lungs. I was completely frozen. My brain went into some kind of shock, and I snapped back to reality. I heard a voice in my head, something like, "Go back to your room now or you'll die." Without thinking, I obeyed. I returned to my room more cautiously than when I left. I had trouble breathing, and my heart was racing uncontrollably. I stared fixately at one spot, not thinking about anything. Again, I was frozen.